Well, good morning, my friends. What's cooking, y'all? Some little different. Today we are in a Stage 3 1995 FZJ80 Toyota Land Cruiser. This is a project from my TLC brand, the nation's largest and oldest Land Cruiser restoration specialists. And if you are a routine follower of my ridiculous channel, then you will recognize this truck. It's probably roughly a year ago that we completed and delivered it. However, the client's situation changed and he's doing a lot of global travels and he's just not around anymore. So we trimmed his vehicular herd, and now that means we have a unique opportunity to resell this epic FZJ80. This is one of the most thoroughly, meticulously restored ones we have done. It's not as bat poo crazy as the Joe Rogan one with the LS9 and all that lunacy. However, you could say this one's a bit more restrained, so there's less man jewelry, doodads, and gizmos, very under the radar cosmetically, but killer performance. And let's just get right down and dirty into it. So it being a Stage 3, we started with an original paint vehicle that had zero rust and was in nice shape, but you know, they're getting old, so it was a little long in the tooth. We forensically disassembled it all the way down to the raw frame, raw body, raw axle housings, the whole 9 yards, and we started from the ground up. So the axles on these trucks, they're super robust. They last. They don't really need any upgrades. Even with copious amounts of horsepower, they are good to go. However, we tore them down. We replaced the spindles. We went through the ring and pinion. We went through 100% brake system. We upgraded the rotors to the DBA slotted and drilled rotors. We upgraded the brake lines. We powder coated the axle housing and all the mechanisms. The steering box was rebuilt. All of the steering linkage is brand new OEM. The stabilizer is upgraded. The suspension is all new, and it's all by our friends at Old Man Emu out of Australia. So it's roughly a 2.5-inch lift-ish, and it's the weight package that we found sort of the best equation to still allow you to overload the vehicle and take some serious loads, be it cargo and or towing, but really refine the ride no matter what the bearing weight of the vehicle is. Of course, the sway bars and all the standard architecture remains stock. To complement the ARB components, we also did some product from SLE. Christo makes great stuff and is very expert at these 80s as well as the 100 series. So we are happy to ride on his coattails and add those improvement products. If you have an 80s series, look into SLE Off-Road. Really good guys, and they make some really nice, unique products you can't get anywhere else. That was an unpaid promotion because they are good people. I don't think it, in fact, that was an unpaid promotion because no one's ever asked me to pay for a promotion. Come to think of it, that'd be an interesting challenge to decide if you do that or don't do that. So let's just promote ourselves, Icon and TLC. For power, we are running a brand new Crate 6.2 LS3 from GM. It's part of their Connect and Cruise program. So it is an emissions certified LS3, and it's just so much fun. Behind it is a GM automatic transmission with overdrive, again, also brand new. And then of course your charging, cooling, ignition, exhaust, everything is brand new. The exhaust is all stainless steel. The center section and cats are ceramic coated. The tail and exit pipes, we left natural stainless, looks good with the silver body. The wheels on the truck are Walker Evans graphite simulated beadlock and BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. Those are 285/70/17. This truck retains the factory location for the spare tire assembly, and the bumpers remained stock, although we took a couple liberties in styling to make them sort of flow more. We created more of a monochromatic vibe with the rest of the body and trim. For the exterior trim, we mostly left the vehicle stock. We did a bunch of little subtle tweaks. So you'll notice the headlights have been upgraded. There is now aux LED lighting in the front and in the rear. The front turn signal markers are the clear lens Japanese market version, and we kept the fender flares, but we did do some custom steel side sliders that also provide you step assistance. Body was stripped all the way down to bare metal, precision painted, disassembled, then polyurea coated on the underside, and then copious layers of Dynamat, Extreme Liner, and other sound deadening products, which is why you can hear me so well as we cruise along at 50 miles an hour. The other mechanical options, I'm kind of spastic, I just had too much coffee, so I'm all over the place. We did ARB locking differentials with a dedicated air compressor. We did a Switch Pro control that is where you interface for the compressor and the lockers, as well as the aux LED front and rear lighting. The emissions certified EROD V8. Unfortunately, the lovely state of California suddenly, after us having done more than a dozen of these conversions, took issue with the weight class of the FZJ80. I lobbied, I called, I begged, I pleaded, and in the end, I lost. It's ridiculous because the 80 series is literally about 400 pounds heavier than the certified weight class of the LS3 EROD. Let's think about that. The higher the weight class, the less stringent the emissions regulations are. So that should not be an issue. But at the end of the day, I think California would prefer that everyone throws away their vehicle, goes buys a new one so they get the tax revenue, irregardless of the lifespan capability of many vehicles and irregardless of the planet and industrial waste. Don't get me started. So the interesting thing is this is literally the last emissions certified V8 converted 80 series in California. That'll have a huge impact in the value retention of this vehicle. And of course, by being California certified, that means it's certified in any state in the union. So I can't impress upon you enough that is important. And furthermore, I can't build this equation anymore for emissions regulated states. So keep that in mind. Let me think. Other than that, mechanically, I think I've given you all the nitty and the gritty. So we can move on to cosmetics. We did this sexy silver with black trim. We did aftermarket LED headlights. We deleted the badge on the rear liftgate. Otherwise, the exterior setup is pretty stock. So just slightly evolved, a little bit more streamlined, a little bit classier. On the inside, pretty much like stuff I don't think you can get them anymore. Brand new OEM dash pad, brand new OEM steering wheel center, combo switch, all the dash plastics. The steering wheel we hand stitched and baseball stitch wrapped in top grain leather. The leather used in this vehicle is embossed to have the surface grain like you've seen in some of the Icon projects when we use the bison leather. But this is a automotive and aircraft certified leather, so it's going to prove to be more UV stable. It's also softer and more giving, less temper than the thick old bison hides that we use. So it has that look, but it has a more kind of elegant feel, and it'll be more stable long term. We did some moderate redesign to the door panel inserts. We leather wrapped the armrest pads, and the third row is removable on these, which gives you a total seating for 7, which is pretty rare. We upgraded the visors with the Icon Lear Jet visors from Rosen, which are directly compatible for your 80 series. We sell them on the website. Stereo system on this truck is our beloved Pioneer NEX series head unit. tethered and untethered CarPlay, Bluetooth, FM, HD/FM, AM, and a CD for some reason. Full call speakers, hidden amp and bass, Bluetooth, I think I said that. We added seat heaters in the front row, and the controls are on the center console. We added aux power ports, both for the front row as well as the second row. And the shifter, you'll notice, a fair bit of trickery to make it work, but we like doing the VA conversions in the 80 series with a stock shifter, so you just can't tell. Total sleeper. But when you need it, tons of power. We also ran the stock transfer case, so that means it still has the all-wheel drive functionality, and the ABS brakes are maintained. So really elegant conversion, super sexy. Alcantara headliner, copious amounts of sound deadener as mentioned, and I think it's time for me to shut up. More details, go to TLC4x4.com. You will see this truck on the website unless I sell it first on Instagram, which has been known to occur. Thank you again for your time. Feel free to follow us on Facebook or Instagram at TLC4x4 or Icon4x4. I recommend the latter because I'm not that smart, don't have that much time in the day, so I pretty much stuff all of our creative content onto the Icon feed and occasionally remember to put it in the TLC feed. Thanks again. Be well.